Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about the biggest problem that indie app developers face. Hey, happy Friday. So, hey, do you like the new haircut? Right, nice and smooth. This is almost army. This is almost what I look like in the army, except, you know, I was thinner back then and younger, less gray hair, right? So today I want to talk about the biggest problem that indie app developers face. But first, because it's Friday, we'll try a new segment. I want to do a movie review, right? Just maybe we could do this regularly, right? So we'll do a movie review. So last weekend, I went and saw the movie Baby Driver, right? With Kevin Spacey, Jamie Foxx, and all that stuff. It was like I just got the new car and going to see a movie about a fast car that really appealed to me. And I really liked the movie. It was, you know, it was good acting, good music, you know, it was a lot of, you know, car chases. It was perfect, you know, just a fun night out. But I'm gonna have to give it 1 star, right? I'm 2 thumbs down, and here's the reason why. Before the movie started, there were a lot of ads, right? And there's always a lot of ads, but you know, it's time I put my foot down, right? It just, you know, I like the movie, you know, but it just, because of the ads, I have to give it 1 star, right? It just sort of, you know, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Get rid of the ads, and then I'll give it 5 stars. Right. Now, for those of you out there, you know, my indie developer friends, those of you who say, this is the reason why I don't put ads in my application, right? I want you to stand tall, right? I want you, because you're standing on principle. You're not going to put ads in your app, right? You're just going to, you know, just go for the perfect experience, right? So I want you to stand tall, you know, pause the video, you walk over to the mirror, look yourself straight, you know, lift your chin up high and just smack yourself across the face. I mean, really give it a good whack. I mean, because, you know, that's not the way you should be thinking, right? The fact of the matter is that people in reviews, they will complain about everything. I mean, if you've ever seen have you ever gone on Amazon to buy something and then you see like 5-star reviews, 5-star review, and then you'll see like 1-star review, and the guy complains about the fact that it was delivered late, right? It'd be like, it was really great product, so, you know, changed my life, but, you know, it arrived a day late, so I'm gonna have to give it 1 star, right? Sometimes these things are just outside of your control. I mean, I get bad reviews about being too many ads, right? So it's worth complaining about, but it's not worth spending $1 on to get rid of them, right? Some people say the app is really good, but there's too many ads, and it's a very small percentage, right? But I've also gotten bad reviews on, you know, that Google Play doesn't allow in-app purchases in their country. I think that's in Iran. For some reason, they don't have in-app purchases over there, but that's outside my control, but it still gives me a bad review. There's a lot of things like that that just get me bad reviews. And the fact of the matter is that advertisements are everywhere. They're in they're in things that are free. That's what makes them free. They're in things that we pay for. So you go to the movies, you see ads. You get a DVD, you see ads. You buy a magazine, it's full of ads, even though you paid for the magazine, or a newspaper or whatever, right? In fact, it's getting to the point where, I think it's going to get worse, right? I think we're going to look back at this age and think, you know what? There were like not nearly as many ads back in 2017. And I know that might sound ridiculous, but you just watch. You know, I mean, it's almost like when you look outside, like if you go through London, you know, it's like ads everywhere, and you think every flat surface that doesn't have an ad on it is for one of 2 reasons. Either 1, nobody's thought of putting an ad there, or 2, they're not allowed to put an ad there. So, you know, clients all the time say to me, you know, I really don't like ads. You know, well, we could do an ad, you know, so how are we going to monetize this thing? They'll say, well, I really don't like ads. And I said, dude, nobody likes ads. I've never met one single person who likes ads, but they get things paid for, right? When you watch it, so I watch baseball all the time. So not so much in the last month because the San Diego Padres, my team, are doing really, really bad. But, you know, sometimes in the early mornings, you know, I'll come into work at 4 o'clock and I could catch the last few innings of a night game in San Diego because it's, you know, in the middle of the night, and, you know, and just watching it on the internet, you just remind you how many ads there are. So there'll be like, every time there's a change in innings or there's a pitching change, they go to the ad break, so they go to commercial. They come back, and as the announcer, you know, it's a beautiful day out here in Petco Park, you know, all this stuff, you know, our next batter is so-and-so, right? And there'll be a little banner at the bottom that says, you know, Carl's Jr. extra value meals now, or something like that, right? And then they'll be in the middle of talking, say, it's a long fly ball out to center field, and he's caught it. It's 1 away. Looking for the next new Ford car and truck? Check out your local Ford dealer. Sales on now. our next batter is, and they'll just go, like, they'll just say this, the announcers will say that. So you've got, so right there, and this is, the reason I bring this up is because that's interstitial, the commercial, banner, the banner, and native ads, which is the guy just talking, right? So ads are everywhere. And you might say, well, that's America, but like over here, you know, you don't have ads in the middle of the game, but you do have logos on jerseys and things like that, which you don't have in the States. So advertisements are everywhere. Now, let's go back. So, but this is not what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about like my tirade on ads. What I want to talk about is the problems with being an indie app developer. Now, there is one huge benefit to being an indie app developer, which is that you can move a lot quicker. You're much more nimble, and you don't have to argue with anybody. You don't have to justify anything. If you have an idea, you can just implement it. You don't have to deal with fragile egos. You don't have to worry about hurt feelings or anything like that. You're on your own. You know, you duck and weave and do what you want to do. But you really need two people. And not necessarily two people, but you need two mentalities. You need the artist and you need the business person. So we know lots of indie developers who have a nice mix between the two of them. You don't want to have too much of one and not enough of the other. So a lot of times what I see a lot is indie app developers who work a long time on their app, and they don't want to go live. They want it to be perfect. So they just make sure that everything's right. They'll say, you know, hey, how's that app coming along? Say, oh, it's, you know, I had a change of mind, so I'm going to change a bunch of stuff. We're going to change the design. We're going to change everything like that, and then we'll put it live. So probably another 6 months, right? So, and on the other side, you got the business people who are just constantly, you know, we need to go live now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's put everything live, right? The fact of the matter is, you can't be too much of either one of those people, but you have to be enough of either of them. So a business person will completely ruin an application or, you know, a project. So a business person will say, you know, if somebody's completely business, how are we going to make money focused, right? They're going to say, you know, let's put an ad here, here, and here, and then rewarded ads. Let's use those, and let's use a native ad over here. Let's put ads everywhere we can, and completely ruin the experience for the user, right? And then once the app goes live, you know, and it'll go live whether it's ready or not, because it's important. We need to start making money from this thing. Every day we waste, we're spending money, right? And then once it goes live, it's like, what are we gonna put out next? Let's just start churning them out. Let's get a factory going, right? What's popular on the App Store? Oh, let's do what they're doing over there. I don't understand why it's popular, but let's just do that. Let's just copy them. Let's copy this. So like completely business focused is not going to help you, right? But on the other side, the artist can completely ruin the business, because the artist wants everything to be perfect, or, you know, they want you know, they don't want to ruin something by having too many advertisements in it, or they don't want to monetize it too much. They don't want to work on marketing it. They don't want to go live, right? Or, you know, and I say this, I know that might be unfair for me to say, but when I was a developer, right, when I was developing for companies, stuff like that, you had to pry the code from my cold dead Git repository, right? I was constantly like, I think I need another day. I think another day. It's like, no, we need to go live. It's fine. It's like, no, you know, I think this could be better. I think this could be improved. And these are like, okay, take it, right? So, you know, if you're like really passionate about making the perfect experience, a lot of times you'll never go live, because you're just so, you know, you just want everything to be perfect, right? And it's also, you know, as an artist, you don't want to promote everything too much, because it's your own work. You're the biggest critic of it, right? You see all the places which are not right. An example of this is if you ever hear somebody play guitar, right, and they're just like, you know, blown away by it. I didn't even know you knew how to play guitar, and they just go, and they'll play it, and then you go, that's really, really good, and they go, yeah, but I always mess up that note, and you're like, what note? And because they're thinking about the little thing that they notice where nobody else notices it, or maybe like in a room full of 100 people, 2 people might notice it, right? So you kind of need to be both. You can't just be one or the other. And, you know, and this is something I struggle with a lot, especially when we put out the first app, because I was completely in the dark about how much marketing we needed, how much promotion, right? And I talk about ads, but it's not just about ads, right? If you've ever worked with, like one thing, you look at Hollywood, right? So Hollywood, you know, most of the time actors need to get agents, because actors are focused on their craft. They're focused on acting. They're not focused on telling everyone how great they are. They kind of need somebody else to do that. Right? I notice this a lot with applications too. Like a lot of times people will hire an ASO person or they'll hire someone to do the marketing for them because they're too, they're aware of all the shortcomings of their application and stuff like that, right? So in this whole, the dichotomy of being, if you're going to be an indie developer, and by the way, I would prefer to be an indie developer than working with somebody else. Like I don't want like a business guy around that I have to argue with all the time, right? But you see this dichotomy all the time in all kinds of different areas. Like again, let's go back to the Hollywood model. If you know lots of movies that are, they're not focused on making money. They win lots of awards, but they don't make any money. And you see other movies that are focused entirely on making money, but not on the story. So there's no art involved, and they'll just, they're geared towards, the big blockbuster and, or, selling toys or whatever. And it's the happy medium that you're looking for. So the biggest problem that indie app developers have, in my opinion, now you might disagree with me, just let me know if you disagree with me. The biggest problem indie developers have is that they're indie. They're independent. It's also the biggest benefit they have, but you have to find that right mix. You have to be split personalities. You have to approach the marketing side and the monetization side with a different mentality as you do as the artist side. Otherwise, you're never going to make it work. That's my opinion anyway. Anyway, boy, that went on for a while today. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Monday. I'll talk to you guys Monday.